everybody. Welcome back to Below Deck Experts, a podcast that recaps current Below Deck seasons with two Midwest millennial siblings, typically. Today we are joined by my husband Brad for another week during Lane's hiatus. Today we are recapping Below Deck Med, Season 9, Episode 14, New Kid on the Dock. Pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Can't imagine they've never used that title before.
No, me either. It's just too easy.
It's too easy. So the way our episodes work, if you are just joining us for the first time today, is that we start up with a question for each other based upon this week's episode, kind of like hot button topics. And then throughout the episode, we focus on usually like three main topics throughout. So today I have the new stew, obviously named Carrie. Mm-hmm. Carrie, right?
Yep.
Because at first I was watching, I was like, did they say her name? I must have just missed it. And the interior has to adjust to that. Nathan experiences a loss and struggles with emotions. And Joe and Gail are getting a little bit petty with each other.
Yeah, sure.
It's about what I had. Did I miss any topics?
No, I think that should pretty much do it.
Good. All right.
I mean, there is another topic, but
What?
it involves Joe again.
With what?
I have your Joe boy already in fuckboy mode.
Yeah, I mean, what sucks is like the new stew coming in, the interior needing to adjust kind of all wraps up because I have Ellie continuing to be difficult.
Yeah. I
have Bree still sucking at laundry and I'm so over it. Like when I tell you I'm so over it, I'm so over it. And so that kind of like wraps, it's all kind of within that one topic.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, as a supervisor, would you be as patient with Ellie as Aesha has been?
No.
Even this episode.
There are certain aspects where it's like, okay, I know we're short people, but they're...
they're not now. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, you can just tell... The thing that's irritating to me is I see through Ellie, especially with her being like, I want to learn to be chief stew. Be like, you don't even know your job.
Right. And that's what Aesha was said it perfectly, being nicer than I would have been, where she's like, just keep doing your job, but more like, just keep learning how to be a stew in the first place.
If you want to be an efficient and good supervisor, you need to understand and do all of the jobs that you're going to be asking other people to do.
Yes.
It's just a fact. Like, that way when they come to you with bitches and gripes and be like, look, I know this sucks. I've been there. I've done that. Yeah. This is what you need to do. And this is why I need you to do it. And that's what a lot of good supervisors miss is like, I need you to do this because of this reason.
Right.
A lot of times if people understand the why, you'll get a lot less bitching about it.
Right. And I think there's just I don't know. Again, you can speak to this having been a supervisor. I mean, I have been, but not nearly as long as you were, with ego. Ellie's biggest thing is ego. Like, you can't really kind of teach that unless you call it out, and then they have to choose to not be that way anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like they either have to say, I hear you, I am dealing with some ego issues, I'm going to work on it, or it just drives them deeper into everybody hates me and everybody's against me.
Yeah. Well, and then at that point, it just comes down to documentation and being like, okay, now I'm just going to say, I'm going to stop giving you the help you're asking for, and I'm going to let you just do your thing, and when you fuck up, I'm going to document it, and then that's your problem.
Yeah.
You reach a point where you get past being able to help someone or willing to help someone because they're a pain in the ass.
But I think Ellie does need to be told, your attitude is what's going to keep you from being a chief stew. It's not skill. Like, are you perfect skill-wise? No. Like, there's some work to be done there, but what's going to keep her from being a chief stew is her ego, because God... Could you fucking imagine her being a chief stew?
No.
It would be the worst. It would be the worst supervisor to work for. Like, they wouldn't want to teach you anything. They would just make sure you knew they were the supervisor and they knew more than you.
Well, and we've all had that person that they only want to be the supervisor because it's a power trip thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, look, you don't want to do this because we know you can't handle the workload. Because people are like, I want to do that job. I want to do that job. What you don't see is the shit that's happening in the background and all the extra shit that you have to do on top of it.
Yep.
That's why it's like, I'd be home an hour late here. I'd leave a half an hour early here. And it's before you know it, like look at Aesha. 13 hours, no break. Like they have no idea.
No.
The time commitment is not worth the money.
Exactly.
It's just not.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we don't even see half the stuff Aesha has to do like on the back end. Again, like ordering things and preparing and but for her it's truly just the title and the power. That's it.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
All right, my question of the day is, why do you think there's tension between Gail and Joe? What do you think the real root of that problem is?
That's a good question. I think like being threatened by the fact that like her and Nathan are now a thing.
I know, that's so stupid though.
Like, is it like is it kind of like a best friend being threatened by a girlfriend?
Yeah, are they both just being kind of petty?
Yeah, well, they are.
Yeah.
But I think Joe a little bit more than Gail. I don't think Gail has ever like started anything with him.
Yeah, or do you think that it's just that Gail has complete disrespect for him in the sense of like, I see what you're doing with all the women on board, and it's like, fuck you. Like, now I don't want to hear anything you have to say.
Well, I don't think it's to that extent, but I do think number one, she has told him like, "Hey, I see what you're doing, and I don't like appreciate that. Like, I see what you're doing to them." And then number two, and I don't think you had been watching at this point, there was a time where she's like, "Hey," because Joe is lead deckhand, and Ian kind of gave him that position too early.
Okay.
He assigned that, I think, right off the bat based on CV.
Well, we both know why he did that though, because Ian's kind of like, he's that one that he gets something on his plate and he's just like, oh, handle that.
Yeah.
Handle that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think Ian just was like, somebody's got to be lead deckhand. Yeah. Joe's been doing this for longer than Nathan. However, Gail, before her and Nathan were even kind of like a thing, she did mention like Nathan knows more.
Yeah.
Like Nathan really does know more, but Nathan's one of those guys that has no interest in being any sort of supervisor. So I think Joe knows that too, but likes Nathan, so he's not gonna like take it out on Nathan or like be shitty towards him. But I think he knows, number one, Gail and Nathan are now together, and number two, Nathan does know a little bit more than him on certain things, and so maybe that's coming out in his relationship with Gail.
Well, I've been like low-key watching some of the things that Joe's been telling Gail, and some of them have been valuable things.
Yeah.
Like they have been, I don't know if it's just the way that they come off.
Yeah.
Like the squeegee thing, he's like, the way he was kind of pompous about it, but the squeegee thing down the side, like, yeah, the way he did it makes way more sense. Like, hey, just go all the way down,
right,
top to bottom. Like, that just makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think that was a big deal. I think sometimes they show us clips here and there that make us think that they were being like snotty towards each other when they really weren't, and it's just been these little issues. Like, but I don't think it's as much as they make it out to be. I don't know.
Baited.
Well, and then there was even a part two, and we'll get to it, I guess. Maybe not. But that little tiff they had in the crew mess, I don't think Gail was really as upset as they wanted us to think she was.
Same, yeah.
And Joe made it seem like she was more upset than she was. He's like, "Oh, is she crying?" Or I'm like watching her go back to her room, and she's like, "Am I irritated?" Yeah. But like, she's not going to go cry about you.
Right. And well, and that's like, Nathan's like, you pissed her off. Like,
right. She was a little pissed off because he was being kind of a douche, but she's not going to go cry about it.
Yeah. And Gail just kind of comes off as one of those ones, like, even if she was at that point, like, I'm not going to give you the fucking satisfaction.
No. And that was my first thought. I'm like, I'm not giving this fuckboy the satisfaction of making me cry, because the way he was saying it was kind of even pissing me off, where it's like, do you get a little bit of satisfaction out of that? Like, now I really am sketched out about you.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see in the next few. I think if my calculations are correct, there's only 3 episodes left after this one.
Okay.
I'm surprised they haven't announced another season. Because if there's 3 episodes left after this one, this is dropping on the 6th. So we have the 9th, 16th, and the 20th. If my calculations are correct, the 23rd is the season finale.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just have to see it. I don't know. Anywho, not that matters. All right, let's get into it. So we start off by, the new stew is here.
Carrie shows up.
Carrie shows up. She's been in yachting for 8 years. She's been a chief stew of a smaller boat.
Yes. In the Bahamas, primarily, right?
I think she did say that.
So she's been Caribbean.
And she's Scottish, right?
Yes.
Okay, because then I was confused. Has she been living in Ireland?
I don't know, because she asked Nathan, because Nathan's also, she's like, where are you from? And he's from Ireland, I think, right?
No, I don't know.
She's like, are you Scottish? And I think he's like, no, I'm Irish. I
Okay,
think.
now I can't remember. Don't quote us. But I'm pretty sure she's Scottish. But then I remember her making a comment somewhere about living in Ireland or being Irish. I don't know. We're just dumb Americans. Those are very similar to us. Yeah. I can tell the difference in the accent, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scottish is more hard to understand.
They cracked me up, though.
Yeah. And then Nathan gets a text that his friend passed away, like, randomly.
His friend Tommy died from cancer.
Yeah, they don't tell us that at first.
No.
They just kind of show us the text and then, like, move on. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they just kind of, like, floated that out there.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll get back to it.
Like, damn. Then going back to Carrie, I said, Carrie is definitely better at this than Brie and Ellie.
And she just, like, goes with it. And she's just like, okay, wherever you need me, I'll handle it.
Is a good chief stew.
Yep.
That is someone, again, it's like ego, right? Like, she's been a chief stew. She could have walked in there being like, oh, I might be better than this at Aesha, but, like, that wasn't even her thing. Mm-hmm. And she enjoys being a temp and knowing that being a temp means I'm going to do whatever.
Well, I think she's just got the right attitude of, like, look, this is a temp fill-in. I'm just here to make some money. Like, I don't need drama and BS. Like, I'm just going to do what Aesha tells me to do.
And to be honest, this is her shot at showing Below Deck that, hey, I could be a good character for your show. Somebody, like, commented last week, and I totally agreed with them. But they're like, these crews have sucked lately. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, we like Aesha. I don't mind, like, a couple people on this one, I guess. Like, I don't mind Gail per se. I don't mind Nathan per se. But my God, we just haven't gotten solid interior. And that's what we talked about last week. I'm like, this is Below Deck. They could have their choice of potentially thousands of people to be on this show. And you pick Brie?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
I don't get it.
I just want to know the thought process, really. Do you want to piss us off watching Brie fuck up laundry the entire season?
Well, I would be curious to see if they hire or cast the crew for the boats based off of Below Deck, or if, like,
what do you mean based off Below Deck?
Okay, so they have contracts with Bravo, right?
Right.
They know, like, Mystique knows we're going to have Below Deck on board.
Right.
So when they're hiring stews, are they looking for stews or deckhands? Are they hiring people like, who would be good to put in front of Below Deck? Or are they legitimately hiring people and then, like, okay. Because not only that, because there's probably a lot of stews and stuff out there like, yeah, I want to work on this boat, but I don't want to be on TV.
See, I disagree. Yes, there's people out there that don't want to be on TV, but there's so many people that do.
Yeah, I know.
Think of, like, I always compare The Bachelorette and The Bachelor. How many fuckboys and all these random girls want to be influencers? A lot.
Well, we already know. We already know that Brie
lot.
does. Remember, she's sitting there on her phone.
No, that's Ellie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ellie's sitting on her phone in her cabin. Oh,
yeah. Ellie is
how to make money doing whatever.
Right. Now that's what I'm saying. Do we like Ellie? No. However, has Ellie been a good cast for Below Deck? Probably.
Yeah, because she brings the drama.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying, where, like, Ellie isn't as, I'm just going to say it, not fans of Ellie. She's just better at the job than Brie. We know that. So I just get confused by, like, the casting of Brie. I get a little bit confused at the casting of Ian.
Yeah, because he's really low key.
Not super entertaining, a little weird, not great at his job. I guess here's my thing. I would either be like, okay, you're either going to be a very good actor, actress, very good for my show, drama-wise, entertaining, or you're going to be good at your job.
Yeah.
But we got a couple, and we've had a couple every season that, like, don't really give us either one.
Well, see, we were spoiled, though. Because, think of the days of, like, Hannah and Ben. Like,
right.
They not only were they really good at their jobs,
yes,
they brought some good drama, too.
I know. I think maybe we were just spoiled. And I always liked Sailing Yacht. I know there was issues with Gary and whatever, but, like, I always thought that, man, those people are good at their jobs and they're entertaining. Yeah. And we just haven't been getting that. I'm sorry. Like, that's just my opinion. But I do have Carrie called out Ellie's shoes and called them stripper shoes, and I laughed.
Were those the ones that she wore on the night out?
Yes.
Oh yeah. She could barely make it down the fucking ramp.
I know, and it's just funny because I know girls like Carrie kind of reminds me of, like, Kara, my friend, because, like, she wouldn't be caught dead wearing shoes like that. Yeah. She could, don't get me wrong,
right.
But she will call a girl out for wearing them, and then Ellie's that type of girl to be like, yeah, and then secretly be like, what a bitch.
Yeah, what a bitch. How dare she?
How dare she call me out when you look ridiculous?
Who does she think she is?
You really do. And then on the night out, Brie makes a comment of, like, well, at least I was number one, like, with Joe. And I'm like, girl, yeah. I don't know if I'd be bragging about that.
Yeah.
Like, why do we think Joe is such a prize?
I know. And I don't get it. I don't.
He thinks he's such a prize too, and I hope Carrie doesn't have any interest in him, to be honest, but
I kind of hope she just like snobs him.
I hope she does
Just
too.
crushes his ego.
I don't think that's going to happen though, but maybe. I don't know. What do we got next? Ellie's just intimidated by Carrie, because Carrie's getting along with Aesha.
Yep.
And I said, girl, yeah, because you're very hard to get along with.
Well, I have right here. Ellie hates Carrie because she isn't a bitch and gets along with Aesha.
Right. And I'm sorry, Aisha's not super hard to get along with.
No.
But you can just tell her and Ellie do not get along.
Well, there's multiple reasons for that. I think that, one, Ellie's abrasive.
Yes.
Two, she's not good at her job.
Right.
And it's like, you can't be both.
That's my entire argument.
Yeah.
Like, you either have to be entertaining or good at your job.
You can be mediocre at your job, and as long as you're a good person, people are a lot more willing to be like, okay, like, I can deal with it.
That's like Brie.
Yeah. But if you're shit at your job and you're a pain in the ass to work with, like, there's zero desire to keep you around.
Right. And again, I think Ellie has always been so caught up in the rankings. Like, she's just, I'm second stew, so I'm above Brie, and I can tell Brie what to do, and I'm below Aesha, so I have to obey Aesha, and Aesha's my supervisor. Like, I think she's so tunnel vision with those things that, like, I can't be friends with my supervisor. She's above me. She's got to teach me. Like, but I can't be friends with, I don't know. I just, that's how I view her, where that's why you're hard to get along with.
Yeah, and she squanders every opportunity that there is for Aesha to teach her something.
Right. Or be friends.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just the vibes I get. So they all get really drunk on this night out.
Yeah, they were hammered.
Not to say they don't always, but they all seemed very, like, hammered.
Yeah, they were lit. In Aesha, she's just like,
She was lit too.
yeah, she's in the back of the van, just like, she's trying to have a conversation with, well, because then there's the drama.
I know, which was completely made up.
We've all been there, right? I don't know if it's made up. It's just when people are that drunk,
they make things up.
They think things are much worse than they really are, or they take things out of context.
Yes, and that's what happened. I think Aesha, I think I would have been a little bit annoyed if I was sober in that aspect, because, and this is what drunk people do, so I'm not blaming Aesha. Drunk people do this all the time, where they'll pick up, like, I think Nathan was, like, not really opening up to Gail about his friend, and Gail, like, it wasn't a big deal. At least to me, it didn't look like it was a big deal.
This is what I think happened. I think that Gail could tell something was off with Nathan, and she just immediately took it like he's unhappy with me for some reason, or he's angry with me for some reason, and then it just spirals.
Right, but I didn't see it spiraling between the two of them, and then Aesha jumps in and she's like, "Why do you hate her?" I'm coming back there, climbs back there, makes it a bigger deal than it is. When you're like, yeah, they're just drunk. And that's the thing you do with drunk people is you cannot
reason with them.
No, well, yes, but you can't escalate things.
Right.
Sometimes they just got to be what they are. And I said men need to realize they can be sad. It's okay, because it's like Nathan was really struggling with that.
Yeah, and he was holding on to it too. He didn't tell Gail what was going on, and maybe they're not that close yet. I don't know. He's guarded.
I think he's just guarded because he said, well, he gave us the example of, like, his mom had cancer and, like, didn't tell him.
Yeah, she never even told him. It's like, his sister told him.
Right. And so if you grow up like that where nobody talks about anything, why would he tell Gail? No offense, but they've been dating for like a few weeks. Yeah. You know, if his mom can't open up to him, or if he can't open up to his mom or his sister, it's no surprise he wasn't pouring his heart out to Gail.
Yeah, when it'd be a lot easier to just be like, hey,
this is what's going on. Like,
my friend just died.
My friend just died, and it sucks. Yeah. And that's basically kind of, it doesn't turn into a big thing.
No.
Which is good, because it did not need to. Kind of just more, I said, Ellie is so fucking irritating. She said, a floater is a fourth stew. Oh, according to who?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, that's her rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we all know what's happening. Like, Aisha's basically like, she's a first stew.
Yeah.
She's a first, like, look.
And Ellie knows that because she knows she's better.
Yeah. And she's like, and Aisha's just like, look, she knows the writing on the wall. She's done this long enough to know, like, if I call her a first stew, like, Ellie's just going to fall apart. So, like, you know what? You just float, fill in. And it's unfortunate that it's become such an ego thing for Ellie. To where Aisha has to be like, look, just do your fucking job.
I know. And Aisha's better than me because I would be like, yeah, she's better than you.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to hurt your feelings. It's reality.
Yeah.
Ellie's so like, oh, we have to tiptoe around Bree's feelings. No, bitch, we have to tiptoe around yours in a way. Like, Bree will cry, which is annoying. Don't get me wrong. You've dealt with people like that having...
Yeah.
But it is annoying when you cannot say anything to someone without them crying. Ellie is the same way, but with anger.
Yeah.
You can't say anything because she's going to get spiteful and angry.
But you do reach that point where you're like, fuck your feelings.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's where I'm at with both of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that's why Aisha's better than me. Because I'd be like, cry if you want to. Like, this is reality. It's not personal. But if you need to cry, cry. This is not personal. If you need to get mad and be petty, go ahead and do that too. But I'm so done. And I think, again, this is me. I've never worked in a situation like this, but Aisha's thoughts are, we have 2 charters left.
Yeah.
We literally just have to keep them together enough for 2 more charters.
We have to remember. So sorry. We have to remember there is a dynamic here that you don't experience really in any other kind of work. Like,
right.
You can't get away from these people.
Exactly.
You live with them. You work with them. Like, it's just how it is.
Yeah. So yeah, she's better than me, but I'm just so done with both of them. Let's see. Gail and Joe getting petty with each other. We already talked about that. My next point is, but like, what actually is Bree doing down there?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea what she's doing. Like, the colored beads. Right. The colored beads are coming up. Their fucking initials are on the shirt tag.
No, I think it's their names. Or even if it is their initials, yes. But I think it's their names.
Christ on a crotch rocket.
How are colored beads easier than names?
They're not. They're fucking not. Because now I have to be like, who the fuck's blue?
Right.
Orange, I have your fucking shirt. No. J, that's fucking Joe. B is Bree. E is Ellie. How fucking hard is this?
I know.
That's an E stack. That's a B stack.
I know.
That's an A stack.
You cannot tell me colored beads are going to be easier than names. I'm sorry, you just can't. So, this is where I'm like, yeah, I'm over her feelings. I'm over, what did I write? It's somewhere here. I must have deleted it. Oh, well, and now we know that Ellie was never sabotaging Bree.
No,
she
didn't have to. All she had to do was leave it alone. And it worked itself out.
Yeah.
Or didn't.
This is one check mark in the positive box for Ellie. She wasn't sabotaging her. Bree was sabotaging herself.
She's just like, don't need to.
Don't need to. Like, she's just doing it to herself. Oh, no, yeah, I did right. At this rate, I'm killing her vibe. I don't care.
Yeah. I think, and that's where Captain Sandy's at.
Yes.
She's like, fuck it.
Oh, my God. Okay, so the guests are here. Oh, this was a funny moment when they're like, they're from Ohio. And Aisha's like, oh, I've never been to Ohio. And he goes, oh, it's just like this.
Yeah, just like, yeah. It couldn't be any fucking further from Greece.
Anybody that's ever been to Ohio, that's really funny. That's a very funny line. I'll give them that. Because Ohio could not be different. Could not be more different.
Yeah.
Not saying Ohio's bad. Okay, if you live in Ohio, a lot of serial killers. You know, we have Ohio and Washington. Yep. That's usually where serial killers come from. California also too. Yep. I think, if you had to guess, if you asked me what do you think, or where do you think most serial killers come from, I'd say Ohio, Washington, and California. But Illinois might be up there too.
Yeah. Let's
Google it. That's a fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
Although some people hate me when I do this, but whatever, don't listen then.
Well, it's our show.
It's my show. What are the top states for serial killers?
Your FBI agent's like, what the fuck?
I know. Oh my gosh, we're wrong.
Are we?
New York is number 1.
Oh, that adds up.
18. Which, this is obviously reported serial killers, right? There could be so many more out there that just aren't reported. California then. Okay, so we were right with California. 15. Texas, 8.
Okay. That's a big gap.
Well, it is a big gap, and I was going to say Texas is the size of a country, too.
Yeah.
So, Illinois is number 4.
Okay.
Tied with Ohio, though.
See?
Both have 7.
We weren't wrong.
We aren't wrong. We were pretty close. Except for Washington. What's Washington? Washington isn't even on here.
I feel like there's a lot of places to bury bodies in Washington, though.
Okay, well, Washington's right here. Let's see. Let's click on Washington. It says a photo. Number 8.
Okay.
Dang. I would have bet on Washington being higher than that. So yeah, New York's number 1, California, which I guess we should. There's a lot of people in New York.
Yeah.
We should have known. Anyway, some drama leaving the dock. What happened?
Which part was that?
Remember they were leaving the dock and there was a little bit of drama?
No.
No? Okay. Fill in where we left it. Because I put some drama, like it wasn't a smooth, like, push off. Like,
yeah. It was, they were waiting for lines to be pulled.
Okay.
And
So
Captain
whose
Sandy
fault?
was pissed at Ian.
Of course.
Because she's like, we've been doing this for so long that you should know where you need your people.
Right. And that was on him.
Yeah, and granted, I've only been with like 4 episodes this season.
Yeah. Well, it's been it's hit or miss with him. Sometimes
Okay.
it's fine, sometimes it's not.
Well, like if you find a system that works, like why change it?
I know, and he, I guess, hasn't learned that. So sad news this episode. I think we only got 1 meal, right? I think we only got lunch.
Yeah,
Did we see dinner? I don't think we did.
Yeah, I didn't do anything with food.
Well, I have the only thing. So the only thing I have is lunch. So I don't think we got dinner because I think I would have at least written down that we got dinner. I think it ended right before dinner. Yeah, it did because we got the preview for next week of Ellie being like, "Hey, can you wash dishes and I'll do drinks with Carrie?" Remember?
Oh.
So I think that we left off right before dinner. The only thing I have written down from lunch is a melon and prosciutto salad. So let's see what that is, because I think I've heard of it, but that seems like 2 things that wouldn't go together.
Yeah, because they come on board and then they immediately ask like, "Hey, when can you have lunch ready?" And he's like 2:30.
Yep.
It's like a half an hour. And they're like, "Okay, perfect."
So there was more things, but melon and prosciutto salad. It says the perfect like salty sweet salad. I don't know. I don't know about that.
An interesting combination.
It's an Italian thing. Okay. What else we got? Every single place. This is someone's blog. Every single place we visited in Italy on our Italy trip served some version of a prosciutto and melon salad. Sweetness from the melons, saltiness from the prosciutto is a match made in heaven. So
that's weird because when we were in Italy, I didn't see that one single time.
Would we have really looked for that,
No,
though?
I wouldn't have.
No, we wouldn't have. Usually they use like cantaloupe or honeydew, mozzarella, arugula, prosciutto, basil, mint, champagne vinegar. Never heard of that. Kosher, salt, black pepper, olive oil, balsamic glaze sometimes. I don't think I'd hate that.
No, I don't either. I'd try it.
Yeah, I would try that. Anyway, that's literally the only thing they told us they got for lunch. So that's all I got, guys. I'm sorry.
They did show them prepping dinner, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, hopefully we'll have more info on the food next week because there wasn't much this week. They kind of like didn't say anything about Chef this week. There was nothing. He's laying low.
There is a shellfish allergy though.
Oh Jesus! Well, we haven't
on
gotten
this preference sheet, and they discussed it. So
Well,
I think he's like,
he should not mess that up.
no.
Ellie's worried about being demoted. It's like, girl, whatever.
To what?
Third stew. Could you imagine if they stuck Ellie down in laundry?
I mean, honestly, hear me out. Bree doesn't notably jack up laundry. Ellie can wash dishes.
Bree, you mean
Sorry.
Ellie?
Yeah, Ellie can wash clothes.
Yes.
Bree can do dishes.
I don't know. She might mess that up too. Jesus.
Maybe.
So Ellie's obviously being salty. Bree's reacting like any normal person would. She's happy to have help. She's happy to learn from Carrie. That's a good thing on her end. She could use it. I have Joe being a dick, but was that the one we talked about with the crew mess?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I was like going to say that was towards the end.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really not that eventful of an episode.
It really wasn't. There was a whole chunk there where I didn't even write any notes because I was like, they're not doing anything.
I've got like 16 bullet points for the show.
I know.
Last week was probably
much.
3 times longer than
I know. And then the last thing I wrote is, God, Ellie, it's Aesha's call. But I don't remember why I wrote that. I think it's because
because Ellie low-key challenged Aesha. And Aesha, right at the very end, was like mom's her.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, I should have written down what they said. Because, yeah, she's like, oh, I just feel like I'm the outsider or something.
Yeah.
Ellie said, like, I feel like I'm the third wheel. And Aisha's like, why?
Yeah.
And that's exactly where I'd be like, tell me why. Oh, I just feel like you guys are doing... She's like, okay, but that's on you. And number one, it's my call too. Like,
and
it's
it's
not
just flat out that Ellie feels threatened.
Yes, exactly.
She knows that Carrie is better than her.
Yep.
And she's insecure.
Yep, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
And Aesha knows that. And she's just trying her best to kind of keep it under wraps.
Yeah, and then Ellie even said, I don't know why we need a new person. Because you're drowning and you suck at your job.
Who wouldn't want more help?
Yeah, please.
Imagine being in any sort of job, your type of job,
Mm-hmm.
my type of job, anybody's job. Would anybody be like, more help? No, thanks. I'd like to keep doing a ton of work. No.
No.
The only reason that you have for this that you could maybe see is being like, oh, I have to split the tip. The tip is going to be lower.
Yeah, but so what?
So what? That's like a little bit of annoyance you could like mention, being like, oh, we got another person to split the tip
you may
with.
get higher tips because you're providing a better service.
That's
also.
true. That is true.
Think of it that way.
Yep, that's a good point. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. They kind of leave us. They end us with like what we just talked about with like Carrie. Ellie saying to Carrie, oh, can you wash dishes and I'll do drinks? Even though clearly Carrie should be the one because she's like, does mixology and stuff. She was a bartender. And then Gail's crying to Aesha about something that we don't know why.
Yeah.
In the coming up on.
Right. And we don't know why, but we'll learn. But the whole thing, like, can you wash dishes? Like, that's like having the start, like a really good quarterback. Like, can you go get the whole team water?
Yeah, I know.
Could you do that for
me? It
me?
really is.
Like, no.
Not using someone for their skills.
Yeah.
Stupid. It really is. But we will see her, I think, in these last few episodes doing what she can to like fly under Aesha's radar, but also trying to boss Carrie around. She's going to be very strategic in the way she bosses her around, and she's going to hope that Carrie doesn't say anything to Aesha, but clearly we saw that Carrie does.
Well,
say
if I was
something.
Aesha, I would sort this out really, really quickly. I would look at Ellie and I'd be like,
do not tell her what to do.
No, she doesn't fucking answer to you. She answers to me.
Yes.
Don't tell her what to do.
Yes, and that's probably what's going to happen.
I will tell her everything that I want her to do.
Yeah.
Your job is to do what I tell you. I will tell her what she needs to do.
Yep.
Done.
So that's basically what we got for you guys. We didn't do a secret word last week. We literally just realized we didn't like 2 days ago.
No, I realized it when I watched the episode, and I was like, son of a...
We're sorry we didn't do a secret word.
I think there may have even been a comment on it.
I think so too.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, did they create their own secret word? And I was like, wait, no, we didn't give one. That would have been kind of cool. So our secret word this week is merkin. Because
why not?
Do you guys remember what merkin is? It was the pube wig, which didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, like the old Abe Lincoln. Like, who's gonna... No, not it.
The old name. I don't want to even ask.
You don't.
I don't.
Those that know, no. Do not...
Do you want to know the definition?
Do not type Abe Lincoln into Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get flagged for this. A merkin is a pubic wig. Merkins were worn by prostitutes after shaving their mons pubis. Which
Wow.
and are used as decorative items or erotic devices by both men and women.
It sounds hygienic.
It sounds, yeah, that was my first thing, because I was like, oh God, I don't even know if I want to keep talking about this. Who lacks pubes? No one.
Yeah, I'm not even going down that road.
I don't even, you know what? Yep, we're just going to leave it there. That's
the
secret word. So you're welcome, guys. Thanks to Below Deck. This has to be our secret word because we couldn't think of another one. So we do have some news. Lane should be back on our September 20th episode. So you guys are listening to this. It is September 6th. So Brad will be with us on the 13th. And then...
I'm busy.
So it's just going to be me. Everybody that hates me, you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding. I'm being dramatic. Nobody hates me. I know that. So Brad will be with us on the 13th. And then I think probably we'll see what happens. It's either going to be me and Lane on the 20th, like welcoming him back, or it might be all three of us. So we don't really know yet, but for sure you will see Lane in some capacity on the 20th. And then I think the season finale of Below Deck is going to be on the 23rd. And so our season finale will be on the 27th, which is someone's birthday. Hey guys, our season finale, I think, episode that on the 27th will be on Brad's birthday. So anyways, that's kind of the plan. And then we're going to go from there. We don't know if I'm assuming going to be another Below Deck season. I'm assuming it's going to be Down Under. But as of right now, when we are recording this, they have not announced that.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything with it.
So
That'd be Captain Jason, right?
I'm guessing. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with Sailing Yacht. I don't. That would normally be
Glenn.
That would normally be Glenn, and we haven't gotten one of those in a while.
No.
So we're guessing it's going to be Down Under, but they have not announced it as of this moment. So, all right, we love you guys. Keep sharing, keep liking, subscribing, keep leaving comments. We love to read them. Any last thoughts?
Nope.
Okay. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.